Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Degrassi season 4. Okay, it's still raining. It's thunderstorming here, so I just wanted to kind of start it when like most of the thunderstorm had ended. So, you know how we do this, we're going to go down the list of characters that are there, and then we're going to talk about some things that I noticed throughout the season. So, Joey. I still like Joey, but I feel like this season, especially with what's going on with Craig, I feel like Joey has a lot of pressure on him, and nobody's really there to try to help him through it. Which leads me into the next person labeled Caitlin, or listed. I do like Caitlin, but this season she seems very career-oriented, which isn't a bad thing, but I feel like it does get in the way of her, like, relationship with Joey, kind of, and we'll talk more about that in the relationship video, but, you know, I feel like Caitlin's very just, like, not really focused on the people around her and more focused on where she's going and what she wants to achieve. Spike. I still like Spike. Spike doesn't show up much here other than being Emma's mom. But Spike is really supportive after the shooting and everything, which I think is another showcasing how good of a mother she is. Paige. Paige is a little shaky at the start because of the trial and everything that's going on with her there. But Paige does have immense growth throughout this season. Then she backtracks a little bit when it comes to Mr. Oleander. There's a backtrack there, but other than that, she has growth besides that. Craig. So we see Craig's struggle with bipolar disorder in this season and how badly it can affect people. I, for one, dated someone who was like Eli's bipolar, which we'll touch on when we get to Eli. But I can't imagine, but I was starting to get a little bit of a appreciation for Craig after he went through that because he was showing growth and he was really trying to get past it and not let it ruin his life. Ellie. I have immense respect for Ellie this season. She is trying to keep her life together with her mother's drinking problem, and she's trying to keep everything together, and I have immense respect for Ellie. Jimmy. Again, this season, I have immense respect for Jimmy. He is just trying to get through the day. I don't like how he was being a bully with Spinner and Jay and all of them, but Jimmy did not deserve what happened to him. No matter what, you never deserve when something like that happens to you. Spinner. I lost all my respect for Spinner this season because of what he did with Jay and Alex. I lost all respect that I had for Spinner. Hazel. I still love Hazel. Hazel's such a good friend, and I think people really underestimate her, but she's an amazing friend to Paige. Ashley. I started to lose respect for Ashley this season. In the past, Ashley hadn't really annoyed me that much, but this season, Ashley really got under my skin. She was, you know, like calling people a psycho and like not really thinking about other people's feelings. Marco. I still like Marco. He is still trying to find, you know, his way and who he is, but he's become more sure of himself, which I really like. Liberty. There's not much to do with Liberty except for that whole Chris thing in the beginning, and then, you know, Danny Van Zandt is there, which is her younger brother, and, you know, the whole jealousy, the whole thing. Liberty does kind of shine this season in a way because she is doing that Dracula play, and she does shine in that way. But other than that, Liberty's not in many entanglements. Sean definitely grows up through this experience, and we definitely see a lot more about Sean in this season because of what happens, where he decides to stay in Wasaga Beach. Sean had so much growth this season, and this is why Sean became one of my favorite characters this season in particular, because we saw so much about him. JT. I liked JT until the whole stuff with Rick happened and he was being rude to Toby. And I kind of lost respect for JT there a little bit. I mean, I gained respect for JT again when he went to Rick's visitation after Manny talked to him. But I was going back and forth with JT this season at that point. Toby. I feel so bad for Toby on the grounds of he became friends with Rick. He didn't know Rick was going to bring a gun to school. And then, of course, Rick's mom invites him to the visitation, and he doesn't want to go because he doesn't want to go alone because, you know, he can't face Rick's mom alone, which I don't blame him. Emma. Emma is still not one of my favorite people this season. I mean, it's horrible what happened to her, and I do feel really bad for what happened to her. But she's still a little bit, she starts out this season as judgmental, and then she does things that she was getting judgmental of people for doing. And it's just, I'm not even gonna get into that. Manny. I do like Manny this season better because it seems like she has a little bit of a better head on her shoulders because she, you know, she's not messing around with boys this season, and she seems to be a lot more grounded in finding who she is. Mr. Simpson. I still like Mr. Simpson. He was really supportive to Emma after what happened, obviously being married to Spike, but he really, really was, like Spike was, like trying to help Emma through it. Mr. Radich. I still don't like Mr. Radich, especially when Rick tried to talk to Mr. Radich and Mr. Radich just blew him off. Like, that's something that I don't think is a good quality for a principal to have. Danny Van Zant. Well, he's a kid. He's saying stupid things and doing stupid stuff, but everybody does that in the history of Degrassi. Danny right now, he didn't really have much to do with the season, except that he was friends with JT. That was basically his whole personality this season. Dylan. Dylan, we see like a few minutes of Dylan, and that's it. I still like Dylan as far as I'm concerned. I don't really think he did anything. He only showed up in like the first 2 episodes, so I'm kind of upset he wasn't there for Paige's trial though, but you know. Alex. I have such a respect for Alex this season, especially her and Paige's friendship. It's really, really cute. And, you know, I just think that Alex is really becoming a good person. Like, she's really finding out who she wants to be. Rick. You know what? Here's what I'll put for Rick. I don't like him, and what happened should have never happened there. Darcy. Darcy's new. Obviously, we don't see much about her. I mean, when Darcy first showed up here, I had no problem with her because she didn't really do much. Jay. Still don't like Jay. He just rubs me all the wrong way. Nate. I think that's the guy that plays Dracula. Obviously only showed up like once or twice. Miss Hatsalakos. I still like her. I still think she's a great teacher. Mr. Oleander, he's a creep. Just simply, he's a creep. I get it, the whole, oh, well, the age, and everything, but like, when you're a student teacher of somebody, you can't date a student. That's completely wrong. Mr. Armstrong, still like Mr. Armstrong, still like Miss Kwan, especially that one scene where he's like, but most of all, I wants me a girl with a bootylicious, and, you know, she cuts him off. Mr. Perino, Again, I think he only showed up a little bit when he told Emma her participation grade went down, so he's not really a huge part of the show yet. Miss Sauvé, I commend Miss Sauvé for what she had to deal with, and I commend Miss Sauvé as a guidance counselor. Kate Kerwin, again, we don't see much about her. She comes in when Toby's reeling from the shooting. Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith. Jason Mewes hitting on Ellie was a bit too much. Kevin Smith, he's funny. Like, I have no problems with him. And Dean. Let's not even talk about Dean. We talked about him in season 2. All right, Marco and Paige are cute friends. I noticed that Marco and Paige had a really cute type of friendship. Dean is still cocky. You watch the trial, he's cocky. Paige was being nice to Ellie was sweet to see. I really like how Paige was being nice to Ellie on the first day and complimenting her outfit. Or Ellie complimented her, you know, they were talking. Danny is flirty. He flirted with Manny right in front of JT, and that was his girlfriend at the time. Marco's look is a no. That first day of school, I don't know what the glasses are, I don't know what the shoes are, I don't know what, it's just a no. Spinner's trying to help Paige, which is good. When the trial stuff was going on, Spinner was trying to be the supportive boyfriend. Caitlin's birthday video was nice to see for Craig because that she cared and wanted to make a video for him. Paige has flashbacks and realizes she needs to face the trial, which when traumatic things happen like that, you do realize you need to deal with it in your own way. For some that's going to therapy, for some that's taking them to court, however they need to deal with it. Spinner is very supportive to Paige, which I think is really good boyfriend there. Dean's lawyer is a pain in the ass. She really is a pain in the ass. Craig spending all $10,000 was stupid. I understand the whole thing with him, you know, he doesn't have a good relationship with his father, but spending all the $10,000, he could have saved that. Craig also making a joke about making Ashley cry was stupid too, where they're talking about the crybaby Wawa, and he's like, I thought I already made you cry last year, wah, and it's like, why? Dean winking at Paige after winning the trial was inappropriate, just completely inappropriate. Dean's lawyer looking sorry for Paige was at least something. She's still not a very good person, but at least you could see that she did feel something. Marco coming to invite Paige out was a good friend move. Even though he knows Paige is upset, he was still trying to invite her out. Spinner's trying to help Paige, and so is Hazel. I feel bad for them because Paige won't tell them what's going on, so they have no idea how she's feeling. Paige making Spinner jealous was not the way to go. I know that sometimes when things like that happen, girls get in that mindset. I've had that mindset before of, I've never tried to make a boyfriend jealous, but I have had the mindset of, I'm dirty because of what, you know, ended up happening to me in high school. And we're not going to like dwell on that because it's Paige's story we're talking about, but you know that does happen. Spinner should have had a conversation with Paige about all of it, but he didn't. Craig could have been nicer to Joey when he asked about rent. Instead of saying, you know, things like, I'm the walking bank of Craig, and things like, he could have been a little more sympathetic. Hazel was a good friend to worry about Paige. I think that Hazel really showed that she does care about Paige. Dean admitting it is frustrating because he didn't do that in court. Of course, now that he's gotten, the charges have been dropped and he was found not guilty, obviously he's going to say now that he did do it. I know this isn't the best action, but her crashing into Dean's car was badass. I still love that she crashed into Dean's car. I still love that she did that. Miss Sauvé is good at helping Paige get over the trial. Obviously, Miss Sauvé is, you know, trained to be able to do that, but I really look up to Miss Sauvé a lot. Spinner takes the fall for Paige, which is sweet. I think it's sweet that he took the fall for Paige, but again, she has to take responsibility for her own actions. Craig is so selfish, and I hate it. This season, he's just like, he doesn't care that Joey's having trouble. Paige stands up to Dean and tells the police she wrecked his car, which was also a badass move for Paige to take responsibility for what she did. Paige offers to pay for Spinner's car. That's a good girlfriend right there. Dylan should not make Marco feel bad about not being out of the closet. Everybody comes out at their own time, and nobody should force someone else to come out. Chris was sweet to Liberty when he was talking to her and saying they can go to the record shop and things like that. Alex is trying to make a name for herself by running for president, and I commend her for that. Emma had no right to give Liberty the side eye for liking her ex. It's her ex-boyfriend. Marco's mom being so supportive of Marco is amazing parenting, and I love, love, love Marco's mom. Alex is a bit too much to Marco. She is. She's like threatening to out him in front of the entire school. That's a bit much. Emma was so harsh to Liberty, saying it would be embarrassing if Chris dated Liberty next, which is horrible because there's nothing wrong with Liberty. She's fine. Marco's dad, don't make me less proud. That was pretty rude and kind of manipulative. Liberty standing up to Emma was surprising but amazing. I love how she just, told Emma, go to hell. Dylan comes to see Marco's speech, which is amazing because the fact that Dylan was there to support him through that. Marco spins Jay calling him queer as a positive thing in the speech. And I really like how people can just do that, how people can just take something that somebody calls them and they're like, yeah, okay. Dylan was nice to Marco's mom when she addressed him, which I think is really grown up of Dylan. JT is still childish. He's still messing around, which could be part of his charm. Danny pantsing JT went too far, pulling the swim trunks down. I went a bit too far. Manny talking to Craig in front of JT was a little cruel because you could tell that she still liked him. Emma checking on Paige was nice when she ran into the bathroom. Emma kicks Rick out of the dot, which she shouldn't have done because that was a bit too much. The ribbon should have been done for more than just to get Rick gone. They should have done the ribbon because they actually, cared about the cause. Craig catches JT and Toby and Danny coming out of one stall. He doesn't want to know why. It's just he sees them coming out and he's like, I don't want to know. Rick is getting physically hurt and runs out of the cafe. He's getting physically hurt and run out of the cafe, which I think that went a bit too far. Like I say here, everyone cheering went a bit too far when they were beating him up. Liberty telling Manny to break up was the right advice because if she doesn't like JT anymore, you gotta break up with him. Rick gives Emma money and Alex rips it up, which, they're not going to accept his money. Manny's being so sweet but cannot do it much longer with JT. She's being really sweet, but she can't stay with him much longer. Emma tripped Rick, but Jay took it too far. Beating Rick up went too far. What I meant by the cheering is the cheering that he left the lunchroom. Okay. Yeah, but beating Rick up went too far. JT tries to apologize with flowers, but Manny doesn't want to hear it. Rick thanks Emma, which is nice, and Rick finally shares his side of the story, which I think we need to do. They will be someday, which is foreshadowing, kind of creepy. Seeing how Sean cares about Ellie is cute. Ellie trying to be strong is sad. Sean standing up to Ellie's mom it was sweet of him to do that. Sean letting Ellie have his bed after the fire is sweet. Spinner is slime for being flirty and cheating. Manny flirting was equally as bad. She did it once with Craig. Why do it again? Because, it wasn't right the first time. Only time Jay and Alex look speechless is when Ellie's mom slapped Sean. Ellie standing up to her mom was courageous. Paige trying to do her job is commendable. Craig asking about Spinner and Paige was smart. JT mocking Emma after she says thanks Toby is funny. It's like, thanks Toby. Paige a little hard on Spirit Squad at practice. Spinner's apology with flowers was weak. Darcy was nice to kiss Rick after asked by Toby even though it was for money. Hazel had amazing advice for Paige about Spinner. If you let him treat you like crap. It's like, if you let him treat you like crap, it's not good. Spinner embarrassing Paige at work was too much. Alex was right to say get a new boyfriend after that. Craig was nice to give him a snide remark. Nice. Good training, good girl. Ew. That's what Spinner said to Paige. Ew. I mean, because it wasn't in the context of what some people are into. Paige should not have gotten fired for Craig and Spinner's fight. Alex was nice to vouch for Paige's job. Paige standing up for herself is amazing to Spinner. Jimmy and Spinner took bullying too far. Emma was nice to encourage Rick. Mr. Radich not listening to Rick is part of the problem. The paint and feathers only look bad on the people who did it. Sydney was nice to help sell the house. Emma could not let Rick down nice. Could have let Rick down nicer. Rick coming home to an empty house is so sad. JT and Danny were horrible for laughing. Paige showed growth when she talked to Rick. Spinner's a piece of shit for blaming Jimmy. So is Jay, but we knew Jay was a piece of shit. Caitlin buying Joey's house was nice. Craig finding Jimmy was so hard on him. Sean talking down Rick showed his character development. Sean saving Emma's life is amazing. Miss Sauvé is an amazing counselor. Spike is an amazing mom by how she comforts Emma. Simpson standing up to Radich was right. Caitlin telling off Rachel Rhodes was amazing. Ashley plays it fast and hard with the judgments, using everyone's favorite word, psycho. I call it their favorite word because everybody uses it. JT going to Rick's funeral for Toby showed growth. It's the visitation, but Matt is a creep, Matt Oleander. Ashley should be a little more sympathetic to Craig when he's going through bipolar. Jay is taking advantage of Emma, and I know he knows it. Joey should have paid more attention to Craig, but also Caitlin should have told Joey everything too. So those are just a few things I noticed. I didn't really start explaining them at the end because they kind of became self-explanatory. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I know there's one person that always comments on the bottom of these videos. And I talked about a lot of hard topics. So in the description there will be the DB hotline. And there will be, you know, any other resources that I find. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Please be respectful down there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!